Now it's time for the morning trade, and then we got to get to Tesla. So it's reporting its numbers after the close. Of course, we get so many headlines. There's a lot of noise, and then there's the big picture here. Marley Kayden, we bring in to talk about this name. Some of your thoughts. Good morning.
Good morning, Nicole. Yeah, so what the street's looking for is EPS of 39 cents. That would be down from 52 cents a year ago, so roughly 25% decline if it comes in line with expectations. For revenue, they're looking for $22.53 billion. That would be down from more than $25 billion a year ago, so a drop of about 11%. It's also worth noting that in the past 3 quarters, Tesla's revenue did come in under expectations, so that may be anticipated here. Tesla stock has been moving up, though, in recent days. We're in the green today, about 0.3% right now, and it has returned the company to a market cap above $1 trillion ahead of their earnings call later, but they're down 18% year to date, so it does make it the weakest performer in the Mag 7, and it marks a shocking shift. Their sales plunge in the last 18 months has been such a surprise for a company that before 2024 had only recorded 1 quarterly year-over-year sales drop. So a really new time for Tesla to be on the decline. Investors will really be focused on gross margins today, though, Nicole. That will really be in their crosshairs. They'll be wanting insight into the profitability of Tesla's operations. We already know vehicle deliveries were down 13.5% for the quarter. That's the second straight quarter that sales were off more than 13%. But they will be watching to see whether gross margins have improved and how the company is guiding deliveries for the coming quarter. There is also some risk of Tesla losing its title as the world's biggest EV maker to China's BYD. So definitely we'll be listening for any indications of that as well. Likely also coming up, another major headwind is this expiration of the EV tax credits. With the passing of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, they will end those 17-year electric vehicle tax credit programs at the end of September. And that was a highly profitable, effectively a 100% margin income stream that will disappear. So a lot of potential for that to be in focus. Also, tariffs being a potential issue here. Tesla, unlike other automakers here, does make all of its cars in the U.S., but it does import parts that are very important and raw materials, which will be tariffed, including last week Chinese graphite that's used in its batteries. That became subject to another tariff that raised the cost 160% from last year. So a lot of major things in focus as far as headwinds are concerned. There are some major growth engines as well. The Robotaxi, of course, we've been talking about. That will be a major focus, and this Optimus Robotics and what the future looks like for Robotaxi and robotics. Those are 2 big potential drivers for Tesla here, Nicole.
And, we talk about, you mentioned the Robotaxi. Robotics is, we don't think of Tesla as just a car company. There's so much more to this. Every time I ask a guest and say, should we rate it like a car company? They say no. They look at the energy part of it. They look at the robotics, Robotaxi, even, all these different facets, right? Absolutely. And I think that is a primary focus, and I imagine will likely be a major driver on the call today. Those are their 2 biggest growth areas. They both highlight progress. We got the Robotaxi launch in Austin in June, so there will likely be questions about when full self-driving software will be able to have unsupervised use, because right now they have a safety driver in the Robotaxi, but also in their commercial vehicles as well. And they did have a big week. Tesla opened its first restaurant in Los Angeles on Monday that does feature its Optimus robot serving popcorn. So it did effectively demonstrate that it is capable of doing tasks, but there is still some disagreement about when those robots could be deployed into Tesla factories. Elon Musk had previously said they would be on the floors, thousands of them, I think he said, by the end of 2025. But Chris Walty, who was their former robotics lead, has said that humanoid robots like Optimus are not suitable for factory environments. So I think there will certainly be questions about when and if at all we will see the Optimus robot in factories, when it will be scalable for factories and commercial use. And you also mentioned energy storage. That has been Tesla's fastest growing segment, but Megapack battery deployments have declined for the last 2 quarters. So likely lots of questions there. With the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, it does look like it might be hard for them to return to that high growth trajectory that they previously had, but likely questions there as well.
As well as last, this budget model that everyone keeps waiting for. For years, Tesla's been talking about this $30,000 budget vehicle. So I imagine there will absolutely be questions about that. And if they're able to release anything, even a rendering or a potential timeline for that, that could be a potential growth driver for them as well, Nicole.
Yeah, and look, I don't know how much he'll say if BYD is doing so great and, beating them. I'm not sure how much he'll share on that. But, I am interested to hear where he's sleeping. Is he sleeping in the factory? Is he going back to politics? Anything just to get into the mind of Elon Musk a bit. Looking forward to that. Is he going to be real clear with numbers or more vague this round? Because he's done both. Great to see you. Marley Kayden, thank you so much. We see Tesla today at $333, so that's up about $2 today. 3 months up over 45%. Marley, thank you. Scott Bauer, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy, is with me, and I know you have an example trade and want to hear from Elon Musk as well. Some of your thoughts.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear from Elon, but only about Tesla, not about anything else. And I think shareholders, investors, traders, want to hear the same thing. So there's so much news out there, positive, negative, and news that just, is all jumbled. So I really think that, excuse me, unless there's a major outlier, that the stock's not going to move. And when I say not going to move, that doesn't mean literally stay in place, but have a very, very tight range. Now, the market's pricing in about a $25 dollar move, so 7.5%, something like that. I think we get a smaller move, Nicole, and again, unless there's a big major outlier. So based on that, I am selling this week's downside 320, 310 put spread. I'm also selling this week's upside 340, 350 call spread. I can collect about $6.50, pretty rich for that. And my risk, if there is a large move in Tesla, is $3.50, but I'm collecting $6.50. So end of the day on Friday, my break-even points would be $313.50 on the downside and $346.50 on the upside. So that is my profit pocket. We get a big move, but that's why I do everything completely risk defined.
All right. When we think about Tesla, obviously the Mag 7, everybody loves the Mag 7. Sometimes they say the Mag 6 because they don't necessarily believe in Tesla. The Mag 6 have helped to propel this market back higher. Thoughts on that group and the market action overall?
Obviously, there's going to be scrutiny every which way that we can think of, and I'm more concerned or more interested in the Alphabet earnings today than I am in Tesla, to that point, for the Mag 7 to really set the stage for what we may see. But there's no question that these stocks, Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, and the like, they could really set the momentum and the optimism or the pessimism for the rest of the year here. There's no question about it.
All right. Scott, thank you. Scott Bauer, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Great to see you always.